everyone, and welcome to the new episode of We Talk Talent series, Season 5, the show where we bring you insightful conversations with top HR leaders shaping the future of talent management. And today's episode is a real treat. We have a distinguished guest with us on the show, Zakee Sheikh, Head Talent Acquisition, Cummins India. Zakee, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Likewise, Anmol, thank you for having me on your.
Before we start, let's set the stage. Zakee has been at the forefront of HR with over 2 decades of experience managing and optimizing the talent acquisition and processes. He has been helping organizations build a diverse workforce through diverse recruiting strategies. And he heads the talent acquisition function for Cummins India, wherein he is managing and driving the hiring operations from campuses to leadership levels across roles and functions. So moving forward, Zakee, how is the industry tackling the changes that the workplace has gone through over the past couple of years? If you could share a brief overview with us.
Sure. So I think post-COVID, every organization has witnessed change in the talent landscape. And predominantly, the big shift has come from the ways we work, the ways we operate. And in Cummins, we call it as enhanced ways of working. So just about when COVID had struck, we realized that this is going to be the game changer and it's going to bring a lot of revolution in the ways we work. So we were pretty early on to define a policy of working, and we called it as enhanced ways of working policy. So what has changed for Cummins and for most of the organizations is the flexibility of working that we provide to the employees. And we came up with 3 different ways of working: on-site, off-site, and hybrid. So for all the plant roles, so we are a manufacturing organization, and for people, for the roles which are based out of our plant, where we need to have production going on, those were categorized as on-site. And all the back-end jobs where you don't need to interact with the stakeholders, you don't need to travel for any brainstorming meetings, those jobs were categorized as off-site, and all the other jobs were categorized as hybrid model. And this was done at an organization level so that there is a uniformity for the particular role across all the regions. So a particular role, whether it's in China, India, or US, if it's a hybrid in India, it will be hybrid in China, and so it will be in US. And that gave us the flexibility and the so that gave flexibility to the candidates who would want to take time and balance things at home to opt for the hybrid working model. At the same time, it gave us flexibility to reach out to wider talent pool. So if I have a talent sitting in Delhi, I need not anymore impose the talent to migrate to Pune, where I have the job to carry out that work, because it's a hybrid role and the candidate can come in once in a while. And our hybrid model is also very flexible. It's not that every week, twice or thrice, you have to come to office mandatorily. So it's on need basis, and that gives the flexibility to the candidates to operate from anywhere, and it gave us the flexibility to reach out talent across the country. So I see that is a big shift that has happened in the talent space in the last couple of years.
Absolutely. Thanks for the insightful over perspective, sir. So, Zakee, can you shed some light on your employer branding strategy and how it has evolved over the past few months?
Yeah, that's an interesting story, Anmol. I would like to say that a few years back, we were a very media shy organization. And when I say few years back, I'm talking about 5-6 years back. we used to be a very media shy organization, and we would seldom talk about who we are and what we do. When I joined Cummins 5 years back, I realized that we are in the space where we need to be seen, we need to be heard by our target audience, by our talent pool who would like to come and work with us. And that's when we kickstarted our employer branding initiatives in an aggressive manner. And I'm happy that we made a very good start 3 years back, where we have a good presence. I won't say the best. We still have a long way to go, but we have made a good presence on various forums. Uh, we are a very active organization when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we do a lot of initiatives when it comes to the DEI, but we were not talking about it. So we've started talking about our community initiatives, our DEI initiatives, and who we are, our employee value propositions more often on various forums. So I think that's a good shift that has happened. But as I said, it's a long way further. We need to further build on it.
Yeah, that's good to hear actually. And as you spoke about the DEI agenda, so if you could uh, throw some more light on agenda.
Sure. So that's another interesting topic, I would say. Uh, Coincidentally, I have been interviewing for a position which is for the DEI leader for India. So we are in the process of hiring a DEI leader for India. And I'm sharing this because it's a public knowledge. Our job posting is out in open. When I'm talking to a lot of candidates who are who are currently leading the DEI efforts for their respective organization, what I see and what I hear from many candidates is the reason why the organization are driving the DEI agenda, because majority of the candidates said that it's the it's something which is very much prevalent now. It's something because which all the organizations are doing, because it will make them look good in the talent market space. Uh, so the reasons which I was hearing from the candidates were not convincing uh, for me why DEI should be driven. Because in Cummins, diversity and inclusion is one of our core values, and it's in our DNA. The reason why we drive DEI is because we feel that's the right thing to do, and hence we are driving it. So a lot of initiatives from an inclusion standpoint are driven and not just restricted to gender representation or women representation, but for people with disabilities, for LGBTQ community. What are we doing for them? Whether they are our employees or they are not our employees, are we contributing to those communities, and are we helping them in finding opportunities to make a better life? So that's what we are focusing on. Because I lead the talent acquisition efforts for India, that's one of my core agenda throughout the year, to lead the diversity recruiting efforts. So we are constantly looking at innovating and finding new ways and means to make our workforce uh, as diverse as possible. Our goal is that we should represent the India demography in the organization. So few years back, uh, we were not there where we are, but today we are very proud. We get benchmark in the manufacturing space because we are at a 33% women representation, and that's something we take pride in. We do have ambitious goals further to reach 50% women workforce by 2027. So we all are putting our heads and hands together to achieve that goal.
That's really good. That's really good to hear from you, Zakee. So moving forward, how do you see the importance of soft skills evolving in the future? If you can share some overview insights in this.
Right. Yeah. I have been a big advocate of the soft skills myself,
Mm,
um, because I feel that the functional skills or the technical skills, so to say, they are learnable. But soft skills, I won't say that soft skills you can't learn, but a lot of soft skills gets ingrained in your upbringing when you are growing up, and it takes a while to build those soft skills. Um, the more and more I connect with other organizations, I see the importance of soft skills coming up,
mm,
because in Cummins also, uh, we have two different sets of assessments. One is the technical assessment, and another is the select for Cummins assessment, what we call. In the select for Cummins assessment, we have certain competencies which are aligned to the values of Cummins.
mm,
And the way we advocate that is, even if a candidate is not found technically suitable to a larger extent, not completely suitable, but let's say you just see a 50% match, technical match. But if you see a very good cultural alignment on the select for Cummins assessment, go for that candidate.
mm,
Vis-a-vis, if you see a very good 100% technical match in the candidate, but if you're not seeing a match, or if you're seeing red flags in the select for Cummins assessment, you you should not go ahead and hire the candidate. So that importance we are giving to the soft skills and to the leadership behaviors when we are hiring. So leadership behaviors and soft skill at the leadership hiring, and soft skill at the mid to senior hiring, very important. I see this picking up. More and more organizations will start putting more focus on the soft skills that the uh, individual is bringing, and this will become a way of recruiting in near
mm.
future.
Yeah, thank you. Great insights, Zaki. So, moving towards the end of a question, this is the last question for our show. Could you share some of the most prominent challenges you face in the TA space and the strategies you employ to overcome them?
Yeah, I think there are few challenges that I see, and that's more from a India market space. If I have to talk about, for example, if I have a job and if I advertise that job on any of the job platform, if even if the job very clearly articulates what is the years of experience, what is the skill sets that are required for the role, we see candidates who are not at all fitting into that criteria also going ahead and applying. So
Mm,
against a particular role where we would expect 50 or 60 applications at the max, we see 1,000, 5,000 applications coming in. And that puts a lot of task on the recruiter, because we expect the recruiters to respond to the applications, because the candidates expect a response from us. So
mm,
that's a Herculean task, and we are not doing a great job when we are, to close loop with the candidates. And it has reached to a point where it is discouraging the recruiters to post and advertise their jobs. We want to
mm,
broadcast our jobs. We want the people to know what are the skills that we are hiring. And if they know of someone, they can always share that with their acquaintances to help them find a job. But sadly, it's broadcasted um, uh, incorrectly, and we receive a lot of um, not so relevant applications. So that's one challenge I see over here. The other challenge, so this challenge which I spoke was more from an external market standpoint.
mm,
The other challenge which I see is from a candidate market. Again, if I have to talk from an external um, talent landscape, candidates are also focused on what I'm getting now,
mm,
what is in it for me now. I don't see the shift in the candidate mindset. Is this organization a place where I'm going to learn, where I will grow personally, professionally,
mm,
as a leader? as a technical person, will this give me that balance in work and life that I'm looking for? Will it help me in gaining better values as a human being? So I don't see candidates. I won't say I don't see. I see very less percentage of candidates putting importance to these aspects. What are the true employee value proposition that an organization is offering? Because uh, honestly, when we work for an organization, we are spending 9-10 hours of our day,
Hmm.
5 days a week with that organization. So it's very important for you to carefully choose how this organization is going to shape you as an individual and your career. That I don't see happening more. I see more very short term gains that the candidates focus on. And uh, from a recruiting standpoint, I feel even the recruiters need to start getting more deeper to understand what the candidates are looking for, because always I see the recruiters also don't make a shift. Their focus is only on closing the position, whereas they don't understand what my hiring manager is wanting, what
Hmm.
my candidate is expecting. So we are kind of matchmakers, technically speaking. The recruiters are matchmakers between the candidate and the hiring managers. But uh, in the true sense, that matchmaking doesn't happen most of the times. It's more of just fitting the jigsaw puzzle. So I see that one as a challenge where the recruiters also need to up their game and become more like advisors and consultants to the candidates and to the business, not just as mere order processes to fill the positions. So there are a few other challenges, but in the interest of time, I would just limit to this top 2, 3 that comes to my mind.
So, great insights, Zaki. Thank you for sharing your valuable perspective with us today. And it was a pleasure having you on this show. And for our viewers, let's continue to learn and grow together. And do not forget to tune in to the next episode of We Talk Talent series. Have a fantastic day ahead. Thank you.